Good evening, I'm Aditi Lamba and this is the Wednesday South Asian News segment on Vision of Asia. What an exciting week so far, filled much on South Asian American dialogues and works towards non-profits, political social voices and cultural influence. The month of June has surely kicked off quite a few festive spirits in the community, rejoicing the many conventions and festivals happening this season. Much on empowering the younger generations and enabling change makers from within the diaspora on the show tonight, comprising of a wide and diverse impact of South Asians here in the US and a look into the interests of our community, much on engagement, entertainment, heritage and politics. Remember, you can reach us to cover your stories and voices for South Asian integration and commemorations. Email us on events@itvgold.com. With this, let's begin tonight's episode of Vision of Asia, taking a look at the headlines. 34th Annual East Indian Arrival Day Festival by Indo-Caribbean Federation in New York. Asian American Coalition for Education organizes first national conference Equal Education Rights in Washington, D.C. Actress Shamita Shetty crowns Miss Bharat New York Beauty Pageant 2019 in New York. This and a lot more right after a show break. Stay with us on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. We'll be right back. Welcome again, I'm Aditi Lamba and you are watching Vision of Asia South Asian News segment. Beginning the show tonight, let's take a look at a great display of South Asian cultural heritage and its reach here in the US. Recently in Richmond Hill, New York, the Indo-Caribbean Federation of North America successfully brought together its 2019 34th Annual East Indian Arrival Day festivities in Queens. Home to a great number of Indo-Caribbeans, rich in heritage and attachment to their roots, Queens definitely showcases many events for members of the Indian American community, and the 34th annual celebration was another reflection of the growing impact of South Asian and their culture in New York. The event was in the honor of 181st anniversary of Indians who migrated from India to the Caribbean countries and their identity, while also celebrating 34 years of establishment of the Federation here. Over the years, the Indo-Caribbean Federation has provided a platform to many undiscovered talents within the community, musicians, artists, dancers, truly bringing the best from the community. Let's take a look at some highlights and performances from the festival.
Annual East Indian Arrival Day celebration in Smoky Park here, year after year, and many of you guys know, we commemorated 181 years of East Indian arrival from the Caribbean, from India to the Caribbean and the rest of the world.
Om Bhadram Karne Bhishnayam Devaha Bhadram Pashe Maksha Viryajatraha Stire Rangai Sistavagam Sastruvehi Vyashema Devai Tayadayuhu Swastina Indro Bridasravaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Starksho Rishtanemihi Swasti No Brihaspatir Dadat.
181 years of Indian arrival since our great ancestors have come. What better way to celebrate than amongst our people and this very cultural event?
Definitely.
So I would like to say on behalf of all of us here at Bhubaneswar Mandir that we are very grateful to be a part of this community. New York City is a place where so many different diverse cultures, so many people come together. And I think our Indian brothers and sisters from Indian descent, Guyanese, Trinidadian, Surinamese, whatever you be, whatever religions, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, whatever we be, when we come together, I think we're a force that can make lasting change in the world. Our ancestors always said, and my Guruji, Sri Prakash Gosaiji, always indicated to the youth especially, three things are important: dharma, culture, education, and religion.
And what's your feeling like today as we are moments away from this grand celebration?
I feel awesome. Awesome in the language of being with the Indo-Caribbean Federation and bring this event together year by year. It's really a great feeling to bring this community together. The mission and the vision of the Indo-Caribbean Federation is to serve these people, is to help those who can't help themselves. And we have to compliment our president, who is a die-hard supporter of this organization. 34 years ago, he still standing, still trying to do the very best. And I wish this organization the very best for the future.
All these years doing this event, you must have noticed that the faces have changed in terms of contestants, participants, as well as spectators. When we see that there's a young generation very passionate about this event, and they're very passionate about the arts and culture. It's all about celebrating their ancestors and their heritage. Your message to the young ones to keep this going, and of course preserve the culture for the next generation.
Absolutely. Indian heritage, we go with, India, many people invaded India, many countries invaded India and try to change them. But we continue to survive as a culture. We carry a culture. We're very staunch when it comes to culture, and it's something that we have as an identity. Like for example, the blacks came from Africa. They've been converted to Christians. Right. They don't know about their ancestors and so forth. But we go back to India, we go back to Guyana, and we have a culture that's very rich.
On May 5th, 1838, the first two ships, Whitby and Hesperus, arrived in Guyana from Calcutta with 413 immigrants on board. During the period, 79 years, 238,979 indentured laborers were brought from India to Guyana to work under the colonial administration. They came in 244 ships in a total of 534 voyages between 1838 and 1917.
We now have a story coming in from Washington, D.C., a commendable representation of some incredible groundwork for South Asian political and social voices. The Asian American Coalition for Education successfully held its first national conference on equal education rights recently at the National Press Club of Washington, D.C. The conference addressed the need for sustainable educational policies to eliminate anti-Asian discrimination while also enhancing a better movement for race diversity in education system. Much discussed at the conference featured keynote speakers and panelists highlighting programs and resources to help Asian Americans in education have equal access and opportunities.
Good morning. Today, is going to be a historic day again. 4 years ago, my organization, founder of my organization, came here, filed a complaint against Harvard. We were able, with great support from Asian American communities, we were able to elevate this dialogue from academic debate to a national and international stage. In recent months, I think we really appreciate a lot of media coverage, a lot of national support and national attention. But in recent months, I think what is happening is this dialogue stay in the narrowly focused areas. What's morality of affirmative action, race-based affirmative actions, privileged families versus disadvantaged families. But is this topic just about this narrow issue? So here, this is the first national conference on the equal education rights. Really, we want to challenge our nation, challenging all the policy makers, all the educators, and also all the participants of this dialogue, media, to really think bigger, to look at the issue broadly in a very in-depth way.
What is it as an AACE board member, I believe, people always ask me, what's your organization? What are your basic principles? Yes, I am proud to say our basic principles are not race-tagged education for Asian Americans, Black Americans, or anybody. We want equal education rights for everybody. Does that preclude poor economic, social background children? No, we do not want to exclude them. We want to include them. How do we include everybody? By only focusing on the root cause of the problem. Why are we all the time arguing and talking about how these colleges are grading and giving grade points to an applicant? Instead, should we all not start taking a step back and looking at what has transpired these colleges, in fact, to make that step? K-12 is the key. Focusing on better education, good education is the basic principle that we should all be focusing on and operating on.
I think by sharing best practices, if I hear that what I am doing is going to harm me personally or harm my family, and I don't change my ways, then I should face consequences until I've changed my ways. We have seen, for example, in 1965, before the Surgeon General went on TV and said that smoking killed you, something like 70% of American males smoked. That is very low right now. Before Mothers Against Drug Driving took and did such wonderful work in bringing the reality that the driving while intoxicated kill people and will kill you as well, people used to do these things and create great havoc, but we have had great change in our culture as a result of these messages percolating through. And I think if we have the same messages come through that, look, an intact family and emphasizing education is going to be good for your children, I think that actually would benefit and would create the diversity that we seek.
So the first thing is to understand that we need to have a distinction between public and private institutions, government institutions, and institutions that exist in free civil society. There is, I see no basis, even though the courts, as we've all discussed, have disagreed with me, I don't see any basis to say that a public institution, like the University of Texas or others, should be able to give anybody an advantage or disadvantage based on race. The fact of the matter is, I think it may come from good intentions, because the reality is, for most of our history, we had policies that were against people based on their race, and we continue to see the negative effects of that. And I do think lots of people think we need to make amends for that. There is actually some evidence that suggests there are benefits from all sorts of diversity within student body. In particular, it militates against, for instance, groupthink. that you have people who are all the same or very similar together, and they don't see preconceptions challenged because they all share those preconceptions. This certainly is much deeper than race, goes far beyond race. I would argue that ideological diversity, philosophical diversity is more important than race. But I do actually think there could be some benefits to saying I encounter in college people with lots of different backgrounds, which includes race and ethnicity. It includes socioeconomic status. I don't know.
Diversity is not our mission. It shouldn't be. We provide the funds and the resources for communities to educate our kids, not to pick who's going to sit next to whom in a classroom based on their skin color. But that's precisely what we're doing. And I would urge all of those in the political class to give it up, because the American people do not want us picking winners and losers on the basis of skin color or on the basis of where our ancestors came from. And if you want a mission to pursue in the next few years, get involved and help the group known as Washington Asians for Equality to overcome this terrible initiative.
And it's time for another show break. Stay with us in Vision of Asia. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching into Vision of Asia, bringing you prime South Asian highlights from all across. Concluding the show tonight, we have an exciting story featuring Bollywood star Shamita Shetty. Recently, Fresh Meadows, New York saw the 2019 Miss Bharat New York beauty pageant, a beauty pageant in various categories for both men and women. Amongst a great number of participants, Alicia Merchant walked away with the title of Miss Bharat New York 2019, crowned by Bollywood actress Shamita Shetty, who was the celebrity chief guest at the event. Encouraging all contestants and reflecting upon the importance of providing platform to women, Shamita Shetty said that it's most important to give a platform to our women, not only to the young women, but at the event, she was surely surprised to see many young girls and grandmothers participating. Let's take a look at some highlights.
As a member of Long Island Ladies Circle, I empower and encourage women. With my spare time, I enjoy cooking, yoga, dancing, and spending time with my family. Currently, I am starring as Kutta Begum in drama Razia Sultan. Thank you.
And I'm here to be the change. I want to see the change in the world. Dhanyawad. Thank you.
Fate handed me my first defeat within the first year of my birth. My dad was taken away from me by a violent road accident. The victorious one became the unlucky one. But my mother's penance made sure that I live up to my name. So here I am today, standing in front of you, well-nourished in education and love, filled with empathy for all, standing tall.
It's beautiful, excellent, very well organized, and we hope to come again next time. The organizers were very hospitable, and especially Dalip Chauhan, he organized the whole program in an excellent way. All the models were beautiful, and people had nice time, and we hope to come again. Thank you.
तेरा जिससे बढ़ गया पाला अच्छे को गलत कर डाला तेरा नहीं तेरा कोई दोष दोष तेरा हुस्न ही जबरदस्त दस्त तू चीज बड़ी है मस्त मस्त तू चीज बड़ी है मस्त तू चीज बड़ी है मस्त मस्त मैं चीज बड़ी हूँ मस्त शिट नहीं तुझको कोई होश होश नहीं तुझको कोई होश होश उस पर जो मन का जोश जोश नहीं तेरा कोई दोष दोष मन होश तू हर वक्त वक्त तू चीज बड़ी है मस्त मस्त तू चीज बड़ी है मस्त तू चीज बड़ी है मस्त मस्त मैं चीज बड़ी हूँ मस्त.
My name is Devendra Vora. I'm in a part of this event, Miss India Bharat 2019. I'm fully supporting to the Dr. Sital Desai and Rasmiji Bedi. So it's a really good event and it's a very confidently event. Very wonderful events. I'm so proud of all our teamworks and everybody. So really to congratulations to all the people who guys the part of the events.
If I win this pageant tonight, I would like to be more actively participating in a lot of things concerning mental health and all the consequences that deal with that.
The one thing about me is that I accept people for who they are. I don't care about their pronunciation, I don't care about their dressing, I don't care about their preferences. I accept them and so I expect people to accept me. Thank you for giving me this chance to explain myself.
It's a really excellent program. Really everybody enjoy. Thank you very much.
I'm so happy to be here today. Firstly, thank you for inviting me. Events like this give us an opportunity to interact with our fans abroad, and I just want to thank Janak and Rashmi for organizing this event and inviting me here. But just taking part in a competition, I think, takes a lot of guts. So big round of applause for all of them. Let's just.
How do you stay so fit like this? I'm sure all the ladies out there would love to hear your fitness secret.
Well, मैं वर्कआउट करती हूँ and मुझे एक्चुअली खाना बहुत पसंद है, तो मैं डाइट नहीं कर सकती हूँ. तो मुझे जो खाना है मैं खाती हूँ, बस हेल्थी खाना मैं चूज़ करती हूँ. ज़्यादा तेल वाला खाना नहीं, ज़्यादा मीठा नहीं. Whatever I put into my body, I make sure that I keep in mind कि we have to respect our bodies. तो डाइट पे मैं थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखती हूँ, and of course मैं एटलीस्ट 4 से 5 बार जिम जाती हूँ हफ्ते में, because it also makes me happy. It's not something that I force myself to do. I enjoy working out. So I think everything goes hand in hand, healthy body, healthy mind, it all goes hand in hand.
And this wraps up our South Asian News segment for tonight. Send us your suggestions to get your voices and organizations on our show. Remember to email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on Facebook @itvgold. You can also now subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch many of our popular shows for free. Thank you for tuning in tonight. This is Vision of Asia and I'm Aditi Lamba. Take care and be well.